Jimmy. Jimmy. James, son!
Welcome back to another episode of the Jim's channel, and today we're going to be working on the Corolla again. I know you saw me rebuild it in a previous video, or at least do a nice tune-up on it, but it's still doing its little hesitation and or sputtering, and I've been led down a rabbit hole that leads me, leads, to believe that the igniter is bad. Now, the igniter in these vehicles is also called the ignition control module. This little ding-dong right here. Now, in a lot of cars, it's on the firewall. Like my Previa here, it's up underneath the motor, but it's on the firewall of the motor, okay? In this particular vehicle, you have to completely dismantle the distributor because it's hidden inside the distributor. Literally wedged as deep in there as you can get. So you gotta take the distributor off, the cap, airbox, everything, just to unscrew this part and hope that maybe that's the problem. Maybe. We don't even know. The whole damn distributor could be bad for all I know. It's got 185,000 miles on it. But what we're gonna do is just spend some time, completely dismantle the distributor, see if we can get this new ignition control module in. New. And by new, I mean slightly used. We also have to do this. I'm gonna put a set of Pioneer speakers in the front that I got for cheap, along with this third brake light housing that is completely rotted off on mine. Look at this. Look at the rot. Look at the rot. Can you even see that? Well, there's nothing left. So let's get to installing some parts, shall we? So right as I was about to start tearing into this thing, I noticed two things. One, I forgot my socket set at the fucking junkyard, so there goes $14. And two, this distributor is out of time. I don't know if you can see that right there. It's advanced as far forward as you can advance one of these things underneath all of that gelatinous poo-poo. But luckily for me, I happen to have a baseline. So I went ahead and popped the hood on this thing to see where the distributor is advanced to. And wouldn't you freaking know it, look at that. It's advanced to the opposite direction. I wonder if the stumble is caused by somebody incorrectly advancing the distributor on this thing and throwing the timing out. That makes a lot of sense. Well, maybe we don't have to replace an igniter after all. Let's check this out. So I went to go adjust this by removing the bolt, or at least backing it out, and it has no adjustment. This is not the correct distributor for this vehicle. This is a 1.6 liter distributor fixed in place model, as opposed to the 2-bolt, adjustable 1.8 distributor. This is most likely the culprit, actually. What's really weird about this is this maintains a 4-pin plug without provision for the ignition module. So where is the 6-pin plug that should have come with this originally? You can tell that nobody has messed with this. This is a factory, it goes all the way down in there, and that's a factory loom. This is indeed a 1.8. I did a VIN lookup on it, and it's a 1.87 AFE. So something is going on here. This is not right. Something's been Frankensteined up in here. I'm gonna have to take all of this apart and take a look at this, because this isn't right. Give me a few minutes. So I've gone ahead and marked the distributor so I do not get it 180 degrees out of turn, thereby messing up the timing even further. But yeah, something is definitely going on here. This is weird. That is a single bolt 1.6 liter 4-pin distributor on a 1.8 liter motor. What I assume to be a 1.8 liter motor. That's what the VIN says. Maybe somebody changed it. And this is a 1.8. I'm not stupid. Wait a minute. So we're gonna go over to this one here, and there's no way you're gonna be able to see this, but you see how it's got that adjustment? Look at that. There's an amount of adjustment these maintain. This has a 2-bolt 1.8 liter distributor, and this has a 1-bolt non-adjustable. So I don't know what's going on here. This is a mystery to me. I'm gonna take the distributor all apart and see if something is going on here, because I'm confused. I need to do some research on this. So the mystery only gets deeper after cleaning all the gunk off. There is bolt hole number 2, right about there, which means there's bolt hole number 1. This is indeed a 1.8 liter, but the distributor is for a 1.6 and maintains the proper pin connector for a 1.6. Because this is factory. Okay, this has not been monkeyed with. I traced it all the way back. This is original. Yeah, now there hasn't been 1 ounce of monkeying in this harness. So now I have a weird conundrum on my hands, because this is not normal. Okay, mystery solved. I went on a little bit of a research expedition to the polar ice caps, no, on the internet, and it turns out in October 1994, all Corollas were switched over to a single non-adjustable distributor with a single plug. They did away with the 6-wire plug plus the secondary and did it all into a 4-pin single connector with a non-adjustable bolt. So the timing in these vehicles is non-adjustable via the distributor. Unlike in the earlier, just 1 year earlier Corolla with the exact same motor, it's completely adjustable, which is probably not a good thing, to be honest. Anyway, so I guess I'm just stupid. I should have done my research a little more thoroughly. I've never heard of that. I swore I had a 97 with an adjustable, but maybe that was incorrect. I don't know. So now I can go ahead and take this cap off and try to replace that igniter, because this has been a confusing little epoch here. So the mystery on this thing really just keeps getting deeper and deeper. I have it in time still, but I've taken off the thing that says do not remove. I don't know if you can see that. Don't remove. Well, in English, don't remove means remove, so that's a language barrier. It looks like somebody has changed this ignition module. Obviously, it does not come from Toyota looking like that. This is probably the problem, I'm guessing. An aftermarket one that's starting to short out. So probably this is our issue right here. This ignition control module is shorted out. Strange way of putting it together, not gonna lie. This one does not maintain an ignition control module like this one does. See there? That is how it should look, right? And this is how it does look. This is technically a 2-wire as opposed to this, which is technically a 4-wire. So that's interesting. I guess the overall thing that I'm getting at here is we're gonna have to go buy a whole new distributor for this fucking thing, because this thing is like a Frankensteinian jumble of parts. This is like a discount bin of distributor, which is no good. I mean, it's already kind of leaking internally anyway. So for me, I'd rather just replace the whole damn thing. But this is good news. The fact that we see this crappy ignition control module means that this is probably the failing part. I'm gonna go online and see if maybe I can get one locally and I can have this back together today. But in reality, more than likely, this is not going back together today. And I'm gonna have to order a whole new freaking distributor. So let's go check that out. There's the new ignition coil I managed to find down the street for $40, which is, it's acceptable to me. A whole new distributor is like $120. This is the unknown branded one. I mean, it could be bad, it could not be. I don't know. We're gonna find out when we go drive the vehicle. I have to put the distributor all back together. Made in Taiwan. Remember, Taiwan's not a country, my little Bing Chillins.
所以在一个采访，我有一个错误，所有人。
So once I get this in the trash, and I put this back over where it's supposed to be on its little housing, along with the distributor rotor and the cap, I'll put everything back together and see if this finally solves the hesitation. I've basically taken this car completely apart by this point. In case you needed any proof that I needed a new taillight, it literally disintegrated into little bits when I took it out. It's it's basically a fucking saltine cracker as opposed to this one, which is in quite nice condition. So good thing we got that replacement. Here's the old rear cover to the brake light housing. Watch this. Obama, what are you doing in there? Freaking Obama. Always everywhere. So another thing I wanted to do while I was already back here is check out these rear speakers, because they sound like shit. So I had to take off the little, I don't know what you call it, like a trunk panel, to see what was underneath. And of course we have some home fiberglass insulation.
Well, it seems his lungs are completely filled with Owens Corning fiberglass insulation.
And we have this. What the hell's that? So my guess, let's see if we can get up in here, is that they just zip tied the, wow. Wowie zowie. Well, we're gonna take all of this out and do it the right way. From my last Corolla, I happen to have a set of these Alpine speakers with the surrounds and plugins still. So we'll throw these in there. I also have to install this door handle on that side because I broke it the other day. And that's about it. So we're gonna be doing this before we actually take it for the drive and show you that it doesn't sputter and misfire anymore. But again, this is my primary objective because of all the rattling at an idle. Quite irritating. Now the original mounting brackets are in place. I just have to install the cover. and the third brake light, and we'll have everything back to the way it should have been in the first place. That looks a lot better in my opinion. These speakers are actually in the right spot, as is the wiring harness. I'd really like to fix this headliner at some point, but you got to take off the A, the B, and the C pillars, along with the dome light and the sun visors, and basically everything just to get this off. And how often do you really look up?
Yeah, well, Big Al also says dogs can't look up.
So there's a chance I'll just never fix this, because, you know, who looks up? Anyway, I think this came out quite nice. The only thing I have to do now is change this door handle over here that I broke. You can see that it's kind of sticking out a little bit. So all I got to do is change that. And I also found the cigarette lighter back here. Or I mean the cigarette ashtray. Found that in the junkyard. So we're getting closer and closer to being better. Okay. No more stumble at idle, no more sputting, no more spitting, no more farting. Just like it should have been in the first place. Unfortunately, you know, I'm doing this after work because I needed to get some space so I could do a good acceleration run. But I'm pretty happy with the car at this point. There's a couple little more niggling things that I'd like to fix. But for now, I think I'm just going to drive it around. I've already put about 100 miles on it, and she's doing really well. So for now, I guess I'm going to go do those other little things and do a little bit of research, and I'll catch you in a little bit. Okay, so you saw it drove pretty well. No longer hesitates, and I drive it every single day without any problems. I got my little squishy right there on the dashboard. I found him at work in a car that we repossessed. Next thing I'd like to do is change out these vents that are broken. We got 1, 2, and 3 that are broken. They really don't have any problems, but I'm OCD, so I've decided to change them anyway. Because why not, right? So let's start pulling these out. It's super simple. You just get a flathead, stick it behind here, pop it loose, and then pull it forward. Let's see if I can videotape myself doing this. I think it's funny we still say the word videotape, despite tape, you know, videotape being long gone for like the past 20 years, basically. I don't think anyone has actually videotaped anything in at least a decade. Unless it's maybe in an ironic fashion. Well, that's pretty easy. I guess we can put the new ones back in. So we got the 2 of them changed out right there. Now I just got to go take this third one over here out. They sort of turn to dust whenever you take the old ones out. That's how you know they were already living on borrowed time. What I like about these ones is they stay in place. My other ones would just flop around wildly when I turn the air vents on. I like that. Okay, the air vents have been installed. Not that that adds any value to this car whatsoever. Just sort of a personal grievance. Next thing I'm going to move on to is tires. Now the rear tires on this thing are actually really good. There's no cracking in the sidewall. There's no cracking between the treads. The tread is quite meaty. So these 2 rear tires are good. I don't know what brand they are. They are, just says Radial, okay? But they're good tires. The date code shows a date of 2019. So that's okay. You know, those are within spec. The front ones, however, are not within spec. You've got this flaring going along the side. There is, I don't know if you can see this, but there's cracking in the sidewall starting. These are just bad tires, and it has a date code of April 2015. That's 7+ years ago. You really want to only drive a tire for about 4, maybe 5 years, and then get rid of it. You don't wait till it blows up. So what I've done is gone to the junkyard and picked up 2 front tires with a date code of 2021. I know some of you are going to freak out and say, oh my God, you bought tires from the junkyard? You're going to die in a horrific fiery crash. I've done this for years. Just check the tires for nails. Make sure the date code is in the last year or 2. Make sure they're not out of round. Make sure that the rim isn't bent and you're good to go. Okay? There's nothing wrong. They're 20 bucks a piece. That's 20 bucks. Cheapest tires you can get for these are 55 bucks per tire, plus installation, which brings it up to 70 per tire. So we're going to get away pretty cheap. It's already on the rims too, so all I have to do is throw them on. Maybe have them balanced. So let's go get those tires and throw them on. Here are the tires that I got from the junkyard. The rim is a little different because it's from a 97 Corolla, but it doesn't really matter. Bolt pattern is the same, tire size is the same, everything else. It'll match up just fine. You can see the date code on this is 2021. And these tires are quite nice. The lower one still has the little rubber nipples on it. The tread is incredibly good. This one has a hair of feathering on it. But for 20 bucks, you can see the bottom one's even better. That's gonna go on the driver's side. These are basically new tires. So for a total of $40, you really can't beat that. You should see the tires up front. Look at those. Those are garbage compared to these. And they're 7 years old. You can't go wrong. So let's go ahead and throw these on. Got the new tire put on. See, the treads are real nice. We're gonna go ahead and church them up with some of this here tire foam, Foam, whatever the Foam is. We're gonna use it. Let's check it out. Oh, oh my. Well, me oh my apple pie, doesn't that look better? Just gotta plop that hubcap back on after she foams down a little bit. And we're gonna have ourselves a set of brand new tires. Well, there she is, all cleaned up. I'm not really sure what the point of washing this was, considering there's no paint left. But I'm working on that. Give me a few months to see what we can do. New front tires look absolutely nice. See, I did get the vehicle registered in my name. Yeah, okay, I get it. Shut up. Thank you. My little squishies on the dashboard there. Yeah, there really isn't much paint left. I mean, it's like through to metal at certain points, but we'll have that rectified in the upcoming months. But she looks a lot better than when I started. She runs good, drives good. A few more things I'd like to sort out, but for now, what can you say? You know, total budget probably of about $850. In today's economy, you really can't beat that. So let's go for a drive and see how she's doing. As you can see, she drives great. With those new tires, the suspension actually quieted down quite a bit. Actually coming up to my house right here, so we're gonna see when I go over this big bump what happens. Usually there's a large knocking noise. That's a little bit, but much better than before. I am thoroughly happy with this car for the price, the total price that I'm invested in it. I don't think I could be much happier. So this one's gonna be a keeper. Because it's the winter right now, I'm not gonna put an air conditioning compressor on it. I'm gonna wait till the summertime. But definitely I'm gonna go ahead and buy that air conditioning compressor while it's winter when the prices are cheaper. You can see she doesn't rattle anymore. All that plastic noise has quieted down. I went throughout the whole car and replaced all those little push clips. Let's turn the heater down. I replaced all those little push clips for the plastic, and that quieted down a significant amount of the rattling, especially in the rear once I fixed that package tray. But I have a dashboard cover coming. We're gonna be doing something about this in the upcoming future, and we're also gonna be doing something about that hideous paint. But for now, I think that's gonna do it for this vehicle. So thank you guys for watching. As always, I appreciate it. And I'm gonna go ahead and catch you in the next one when I have more updates on this Corolla. So bye.